my privilege, in fact, to invite you all the way from Uganda to India. I have heard that you have been successfully involving your students and your colleagues in implementation of teachtool,
Yes, please.
bank funded program. I heard that many schools in Uganda have been implementing this teachtool program successfully.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
in this particular program, I would like to know more about teachtool program being implemented in Uganda. Some my students will ask you some questions. But before that, may I request you to say something about yourself and what is your contribution in teachtool?
Okay. Thank you, Krishna. My name is Difas Kabera from Uganda, part of the East Africa. I work as the district education leader in one of the districts in Uganda under an NGO called Star Education. Star Education is a non-government organization that is working towards having all teachers love teaching and learners loving learning. It brings out quality teaching practices in the teaching practice to teachers. So we disseminate this information to the rest of the teachers in the country. It works in both primary and secondary. It has both systems. It's a system-led, whereby the system allows people who have been trained. We trained at the national boot camp, come down to the district levels, and then these district education leaders go down and teach and train head teachers who teach and train their respective teachers in the schools. And so teachers come down to classrooms and implement these best practices. On the side of the teach tool, my contribution has been I get information from teachers, I carry out surveys from teachers to see how they are implementing the tool, how best can we improve the tool, if there is any mishap in the tool, what can we do? Where can we change? What can we change? And how is it being used in the classrooms? And anyway, also knowing, is it impactful to the education system of the country? And so we get that survey, we get such information, and then advise the system.
Have been actively involving in this program. You must have observed some of the teachers' lessons while they were teaching in their classroom.
Yes, please.
Ever since this particular tool has started implementing in your country, what kind of positive aspects that you have noticed in teaching of primary or a secondary level in your country? And do you think that the teachers are still struggling to adopt these teaching tool methods? Or do you think that they have completely got used to this tool and the parameters of the program?
If I got you well, let me think you have asked about the progress of the tool.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the progress of the tool, if I have to gauge it to a rating of 10 out of 10, its progress as of now is at 5 out of 10 in the schools where it is being implemented and the districts. Why am I saying so? And it even answers actually what you have later asked on the same question. These teachers are still struggling as they need more extra training on the tool. But even on training about the tool, there is something that we need to first check with the teachers, with administrators of the school, the education institutions. It's all about growth mindset. Their mindset towards the tool, their mindset towards why these practices do happen is very, very key. And so if we checked on the mindset, if we improve the mindset of most of these teachers and the education officials, then it is very easy for implementation to take place. However, there is a lot that is being done to have implementation being done. So we just need to push more on mindset change. We just need to push more on the rationale. Why these teach tools or these teaching practices have to happen in the classroom. If a quality teacher knew this, then we are going to have a world where all teachers love teaching and learners love learning from these quality teachers.
Okay, thank you so much. And Jessica,
Yes,
over to you.
Krishna.
Jessica, over to you.
Hello, sir. My name is Jessica. I am a ninth
Yes,
grader in
please.
the teachtool school, Ailavaram. I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, sir?
Please, Jessica, ask.
How has the implementation of the teach tool impacted students' learning outcomes in Uganda?
Okay. Thank you, Jessica. The implementation of the Teach tool has greatly impacted uh, learning outcomes in the country, whereby there is great change in behavior of the learners. Behavior is checked using the tool. The behavior changes, the behavior aspects of the tool. And so these learners keep on changing their behavior towards the better. Previously, I've just been talking about mindset change. These learners' mindsets are also changed, where they are encouraged that they can actually be better in the world. They can actually perform better if they had to put in effort. Teachers encourage these learners because it is something that is required of the tool, that teachers encourage their students in the classroom, and so they are encouraged. They feel very safe using the safe learning environments that are created by the teachers through the tool because it is monitored. And so learners feel safe learning and being together with their individual teachers. Tool, besides helping only the outcomes of the learners, even the outcome of the learning environments, the outcome of the education institutions that we are having, an education system or education environment that has teachers who are mindful of their students will be a school or an education institution that is so safe for learning, that is so mindful about what happens with the learners, and can actually help learners together with their parents to come up with better citizens of the country and the world.
Okay, thank you so much, Kabela. And in your observation, while observing the teacher's lessons, which
Yes.
aspect, which component is actually is lacking? Yes, most of the teachers, they lack this aspect in, they are not able to implement this component in their teaching. Have you observed any specific
Okay.
component the teachers are missing in their teaching?
This must be emotional support, where these teachers need to actually feel what these learners feel, what these students feel in the classroom, what these students feel even right from their homes. Some students come to school while they have either gone through some challenges that these students need to be calmed down, counselor, talked to by a teacher, who in this case should be a counselor, a teacher performing counseling services, before these learners can actually settle in class and learn. A mind that easily learns is that peaceful mind, which is settled, which is free from a lot of thoughts, because these learners are juggled with thoughts from school, from their way to school, from homes. But teachers are always coming to classroom, employing the best teaching practices, as we can say, but they are not giving emotional support to these learners to have a feel for these learners. If a learner is sick, what should be done? Instead of sending this learner to a health center, sending the learner to either the school medical center, we actually need to bring their thoughts together so that they can know we are so much minding. There is that bondage that you can give a student There is that bondage that a teacher should give a student, so that a student feels he or she is in the safest hands in this world, even though the student has left home. So I see it lacking.
I'm studying 8th class. I have a question for you. Here my question is, what challenges have been encountered while using the teachtool in Uganda, and how are they being addressed?
Thank you, Radhika. There are a set of challenges that teachers encounter in implementing the teach tool in Uganda. However, some have been handled and still on the way to handling. One challenge that I can put forward is mindset change. This is very great. Some teachers' mindsets have not been set to accommodate all the aspects of this tool. Because if they can only accommodate the aspects of the tool, if they can accept that they can change, if they can have positivity in their hearts, positivity in their minds, then they can actually improve teaching. This has been tried to be solved, the issue of mindset, of course. It has been tried as a continuous process whereby one teacher whose mindset is changed continues to ignite the same to another teacher. We continue preaching the same. We continue talking to teachers so that their mindset keeps changing. One other challenge that we are seeing is a little incompetence in implementing the tool. This incompetence can be from the teachers who should actually administer the tool. But this is either brought by the inadequacy in training, which we have to agree as of now, inadequacy in training, and then inadequacy in rollout to reach out to all schools. Because other schools are implementing the teach tool, but other schools are not implementing the teach tool. But imagine we are using the same curriculum, we are in the same education system of the country. How can other schools implement an idea and the other schools are still lagging behind? That is becoming a greater challenge to the teach tool. However, since we are aware that some of these constraints or challenges are brought due to financial muscle, the lack of finances to roll out the system, to roll out the program to all education institutions and schools, we are optimistic that at one time we shall have all teachers use the tool, all schools use the tool, and still what we are also encouraging to bridge out this gap of that challenge of the incompetence or teachers in other schools not using the tool, we encourage those who have the idea to share the idea to others through various platforms, which we are also doing as education leaders. We share the ideas through WhatsApp platforms, Facebook pages for schools and institutions, so that the same information is rolled out at a quicker speed.
How long does the teacher get the training? How this app is implemented using the smartphone. In my region, we have to observe the teachers and we have to record everything on the Teach Tool app installed on our mobile. So we are doing it. Could you please tell us how long does a teacher in Uganda get the training? And how do you implement this program using the smartphone, or do you have any other means?
Okay. Now in Uganda, the training takes place at various levels, just like I have told you. But I just want to first highlight the levels, then I come down to how long do they receive the training for teachers. The National Boot Camp, which has education leaders at the district level and the national level, and ministers sit, they go through the tool, they go through the training. This is done every holiday, the last week of the holiday for every term. Then when they leave, that takes 4 days in the National Boot Camp. When they come down to districts, the district trainings take 2 days. 2 days training heads of education institutions, not teachers, but heads of education institutions. And then these heads of education institutions come back to their education institutions and train teachers 3 times in a term. And the observation using the tool is done 3 times in a term. Now, adaptability and incorporation of the tool towards the use of smartphones and computers. The tool is sent to head teachers in soft copies using a link, whereby these teachers report from the tool by clicking on the link and filling the fields which are in the link, which are specifically nearly the same as the hard copy. However, some other aspects are required of the teacher to add in, where they feel there is something that we are missing in the tools. The tool is, in most cases, it is not always called the teach tool. They may actually refer to other names, the classroom observation tool, because they want these teachers to realize that this is done in the classroom, but it is a teach tool from World Bank. But they want them to own it. It is a teach tool which is used in the classroom, in the teaching environment, using teaching practices. And so it is gauging the quality of these teaching practices. So that is how it is done.
Okay, thank
you.
Yes.
For you is, what is the primary objective of the teach tool in Uganda's educational system?
Thank you, Isnea. The major objective of the teach tool in Uganda, we can say the teach tool is aimed at gauging the quality of teaching practices in the country, the quality of teaching practices, the social, emotional, and psychological skill development of learners in the classroom, guided by their teachers. Isnea, I said the major purpose, the major aim of the teach tool is to gauge, to determine, or to know the quality of teaching practices that teachers use, the social emotional skill development, and the psychological aspect of learners in the country. However, it also brings together the idea of inclusion, having all learners learn the same way in the classroom. So in the country, we have schools that we call inclusive schools that run curriculums where learners with disabilities sit together, are mixed with learners without learning difficulties, and so they learn together. But they are teachers who have been trained to teach in such a way, and more are being trained. Then we have schools which are purely for these learners with these special learning needs. For example, the school for the blind, school for the deaf, such schools are there. And in all these schools, these tools are used. So the major purpose is to measure the quality of teaching practices and then social emotional skill development of learners.
Okay, thank you so much, Kavela, for answering to my question.
Yes.
So before we wind up this session, I have one or two specific questions. How
Yes.
many observers so far this teach tool has produced in Uganda? How many schools have come under this program?
For the number of schools as of now, okay, I was saying for Uganda, public schools are approximately 400 that have been enrolled to the teach tool, But for private schools, the number is greater given their numerous number for private schools, not public schools. Yes.
Okay. When it comes to observers, how many observers this teach tool has produced so far?
Still, similarly, like the way I answered the other one, I'm just going to estimate as of now,
Okay.
because it needs giving facts, which I may not give now.
Okay.
But from the 400 schools, each school has 2 observers that have been trained: the head of the institution and then one focal person for the program.
Okay.
Yes, those are around 800.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kabir.